Welcome back, YouTube. March Madness with Alexandria Marie, posting every single day until March 29th, my birthday. So make sure that you are tuned in to every video, liking, subscribe to my channel, join the fam, go check out the playlist if you have not already. Whatever works for you, just make sure that you're all caught up. So in the middle of me editing another video that I actually was going to be posting for tomorrow, I felt in my spirit that I need to share this story. I did not have intentions of sharing this story. I kind of feel like it's more of like a personal thing, but this year overall, like at the start of the year, New Year's Eve, the sermon that our pastor gave really had on my heart to be transparent, because at the end of the day, everybody has a story, and your story is not just for you. Your story can be for so many other people that just may need to hear it. That being said, because it was placed on my spirit and your girl is obedient, I feel like I need to share my story of how I found out I was pregnant for the third time. I don't know who the story is for. I don't know why you need to hear it, but if this story is for you, I hope that it does whatever it's supposed to do for you. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to share. This is very interesting because God is just all up in this story, all intertwined, all in the mix. Every little detail is God speaking to me and my husband through dreams, through other people, directly speaking to us. It was quite clear, I'd say early on, that he was saying another baby is coming. I found out I was pregnant October 8th of 23, but the signs and communication started, I would say, July. I have notes, so I'm not a scatterbrain. We have two kiddos, a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. That being said, we were very much so content with our 2 kids. We have 2 sons. We were not that couple that we were like, we need a girl. We were content with the same gender. We were literally, we used to say hashtag to and through. We were very dead set in our ways, in our plan. That's what we wanted. 2 kids and done. Wrap up shop. So much so that I suggested to my husband that he gets a vasectomy, and he was completely 1000% on board. I felt like as a woman, I do enough pushing out the babies and raising them and things like that, that I did not want to get my tubes tied, and I felt like he could do that because I also didn't want to get on birth control. So, you know, partnership, shared responsibility, and he was totally cool with that. We had the consultation and he just had to pick a day for the procedure. That's how dead set we were on not having any more children. The first thing that popped up that I kind of raised an eyebrow to, kind of felt that that was like strange. We have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. My 2-year-old randomly over the summer started speaking about babies, and you know, that's not like uncommon because he has a baby brother that's still relatively new. He's 1, so he's newer to him still. So he was talking about babies, and he kept saying that he wants 2 babies. He kept saying, want 2 babies, 2 babies, 2 babies. And I was like, okay. I kind of just didn't really pay it any mind, but he kept saying it, and I would ask him like for clarity. I'm like, you don't want 1 baby? He would say, yeah, 2 babies every single time. And I'd say, like I said, raised an eyebrow to that, but moved forward. I'm like, whatever, he's a baby. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He wants 2 babies. Maybe he wants 2 baby dolls. I don't know. 2 babies is what he kept saying. So number 2, my second sign. I've been with my husband for over a decade. I've had my children's names, hypothetical ones, picked out for years. I have always wanted to be a mother. I have always wanted to raise children. I have just always felt very inclined to do that. I felt very tied and connected to that idea. So literally anybody that knows me knows that having my kids is quite literally a dream come true for me. Like literally hashtag living the dream, okay? My kids are literally a dream come true for me. So anyway, That being said, one of my best friends, she knew the names, hypothetically, that I was going to name my daughter because I have 2 sons and obviously I had intended on not having any more kids. So she knew the name, and so she told me that on TikTok, she kept seeing a whole bunch of TikToks about the baby's name, the baby girl's name that I was going to use. I was like, that's really random. And I was like, did that pop up like before? Like, did you look into that kind of stuff? Because the name is not like a common name, not something that should be popping up often. And she was like, no, like I haven't looked into it. It's just been popping up. And she was like, you have anything you want to tell me? And I was like, absolutely not. Like, nothing's going on over here. No. But that was the second thing. And I was like, I don't know. And so the third thing is, like I said, circling back, that we had the appointment scheduled for the vasectomy. We were about to go through with that, and I literally started feeling such guilt around this concept of my husband going through with the vasectomy. And like I said, it was my idea. I was 1000% on board. I wanted this to happen so it could just alleviate a level of possibility or stress for us. But all the guilt and conviction that I felt was literally starting to make me feel like if I allow for him to go through with this, or I encourage him to go through with this, that I would be doing 2 things. 1, blatantly disobeying God because of how heavy the feelings were, and then 2, interfering with God's will. And listen, I'm not ever trying to interfere with God's will. Whatever it is that he wants for me, that's what I want for me. My life is his. Like, I'm only here living, breathing, functioning. Everything that I have, everything that I own, all my accomplishments, everything is because of God. So I'm not trying to disobey him. I'm not trying to play any type of power struggle, anything like that. So when my heart started feeling all of that conviction and guilt, and I'm talking like in a matter of like a day, because I was 1000% on board, in a matter of a day for it to be like a complete 180, like a switch, I was like, okay. So of course I brought this to my husband's attention, and we decided that we would just pray on it and postpone it, okay? Not cancel, but postpone it to a later date so we could have more time to get clarity from God, see what he wanted, incorporate him in this decision, incorporating him in every little detail of our life. So in the middle of pushing that back and postponing that, my mom called me. This is number 4. My mom called me, and my mom is not an emotional person. She's expressive, and she will express how she feels and let you know what's on her mind and her thoughts and her honest opinion, but she is not super emotional. My mom calls me. She shares her heart on how she feels in regard to being a grandmother, and how grateful she is that she has the opportunity, and how grateful she is for her grandchildren, and how much she loves them, and the joy that they bring to her life, and you know, things like that. And you know, it was a very nice moment, very sentimental, and I was like, oh, like, that's great. She says to me, like, I know that one of the reasons that you and Cameron don't want any more children is because of, like, you know, the logistics. We're very logistical people in the sense of kids cost money, finances, daycare is expensive, you know, it's a sacrifice, things like that. So that's why we were #2 and through. Transparently, if money was not a factor, I probably would have 4 kids, but money is a factor, so I only wanted 2, and so did my husband. So she said, you know, I just wanted to share with you because it was on my heart to let you know that if you ever did have any more kids, if you ever had another child, that I will personally, because my mom watched my first son while I went back to work. She watched him every single day while I was at work, and I didn't have to pay for daycare. It was such a blessing. Thanks, Mom. So she said, I will personally watch all 3, mind you, I have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. I'll personally watch all 3 of your children for free, so you can go back to work, you know, make money, save money, things like that, and I will watch them. Like, I wanted to let you know that I felt it on my spirit. That's what she said to me. Mind you, she has no idea that we were like postponing the vasectomy, praying, things like that. One of the main concerns was finances and daycare. So for her to call randomly and say that when we're in the middle of prayer about that, I just looked at Cameron and we just looked at each other, and he's like, no, in denial. And I'm just like, this is wild. Random one, number 5. I don't know how much you guys are into the Bible, how much you read about the Bible, things like that, but you know that there's different accounts in the Bible where God quite literally softens people's hearts in the sense of relinquishes their pride, relinquishes the bitterness, softens their heart. Cameron tells me in the middle of him making his peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which he always is doing, that he had a random thought. He wasn't thinking about anything, wasn't doing anything. Random thought popped into his mind where he said, 4 kids wouldn't be so bad. Mind you, if anybody knows Cameron, they know that 2 kids is more than enough for him. He goes, 4 kids wouldn't be so bad. And he literally said right after the thought finished, he was like, what the heck? No, like what's going on? No, absolutely not. No, like literally denying his thoughts or fighting the message from God. That was the 5th thing. When he told me, I was like, So I said, like, my interpretation of that is that God was literally softening his heart because Cameron was so against it. And if you think about it, if a baby is going to come, like, if it's coming, because that's what God is telling us, the baby is coming, why Cameron can't have a hardened heart around that concept. He can't be bitter, he can't have resentment. His heart would have to be softened so he can get on board and raise the child in a loving environment. So God was softening his heart. That was number 5. Number 6, and at this point I still had no positive pregnancy tests, like nothing like that. This is all before October. I had a dream that I was in the delivery room. Skip the whole pregnancy. I had a dream I was in the delivery room and I pushed out a first baby and they said, oh my gosh, it's a girl, she's healthy, she's good, all this stuff. And I was like, you know, emotional in the dream, and I'm like, oh, out of breath, I'm fine. I'm like finally relieved. And the doctor looks at me and goes, all right, are you ready for the next one? I said, the next one? So then I'm starting to push out the next one, and then they're like, right before I push the baby out, they're like, oh my gosh, it's a, and then I wake up. I woke up and I said, now I'm having dreams. Now you're talking to me through dreams. You're telling me that I'm about to have a baby, but now you're also telling me I'm about to have 2. Are you saying I'm having twins? Like, is that what you're saying? Twins don't run in my family. So I was like a little shook by that, I'm gonna be honest, because I'm getting these messages from other people, and now I'm getting a message from God in my dreams. And now you're telling me that there's 2 babies. So I'm like, please no, I already have 2 at home, please. I don't know if I can handle twins. Like, I'm equipped for a lot, but I don't think I can handle twins. So that was very like shocking for me, a bit much. Shortly after I had my own dream, like a week after, this is like crazy. As I'm going through and saying all this, it's actually insane. So maybe this is how come I'm supposed to be saying this out loud. But another one of my best friends, she calls and she tells me, I had a dream that you were pregnant. Are you pregnant? I said, no. Then she goes, yeah, I had a dream. And I don't remember the context of the dream in detail, so if she sees this, you can comment. Anyway, she goes, I had a dream that you were pregnant. Like, 1 second in the dream you weren't pregnant, and then I looked over in some other direction, or I started doing something else and talking to somebody else. I look back at you and you're pregnant, like big pregnant, like 3rd trimester. And I was like, what the heck, that happened so fast? And that was like the basis of her dream. But she called to tell me that, and I'm like, mind you, after all these signs and things that I've already been experiencing, I had my own dream shortly before with twins in the delivery room, and now she's telling me that out of nowhere in a dream I popped up and appeared big pregnant. That's quite clear to me too. And I said, okay, God, okay, I understand. I told Cameron Deja's dream. He literally told Deja, he was like, shut up, Deja, shut up. No. Cameron was very much so in denial this whole time. August 8th, I literally have written down in my notes, my mom asked me, which was shortly after Deja's dream, my mom asked me if I was pregnant, just straight up, just randomly asked me, like, are you pregnant? Just randomly. I said, no, but you're not the first one to ask. That same night that she asked me if I was pregnant, I had another dream myself of this unofficial gender reveal that was going on, like a cake gender reveal, like where you cut the cake. But before we cut the cake, we lit these special little candles. We put candles inside of the cake. I don't remember the amount of candles or anything like that. It's not that deep. I'm not like a prophet, but there was candles in the cake. And before we cut the cake, we lit the candles, and the candles, like the actual flame, lit up to be pink, insinuating that it was a girl. So that was strange for me too, because I'm like, okay, 2nd thing telling me it's a girl, and 9th or 10th thing insinuating that I'm going to get pregnant. Insane. Then I had a very crazy dream, one that I felt like was literally, there was no other explanation other than I literally needed to pray to God for more clarity about that dream after I had it, because it left such a feeling in my spirit that I was like unsettled at what it meant, and I still don't know what it means to this day. But I'm gonna paraphrase it. Essentially, I had a dream that in the middle of the night there was a whole bunch of commotion coming from my son's rooms. I ran over there to make sure that everything was fine, and upon me running into their room, I look at my first son's crib and he was fine, sleeping peacefully, and I look over at my other son's crib, my baby son, who's only 1, and my son was, there was his mattress, my baby was sleeping on top of his mattress, and he was peeking, looking at me, fine, happy, nothing was wrong. And then there was mattress, baby, another mattress was kind of slightly out of the crib like this on an angle, and the other baby was here, like on this side. So it was crib, my son looking like this, looking at me, happy and fine, mattress on an incline, other baby here. That sounds confusing, but I hope the visual helps. So of course I'm confused, because as a mother I put my son down, and I never would have 2 mattresses sandwiching my son, let alone some other foreign baby. So I had a lot of fear. So I get closer to the crib, and I notice as I'm trying to reach under and take my baby out the crib, I notice that this second child, the baby, is like identical to my son. Same size, same face, same everything. Like it looked like a twin. Both of the babies were happy, fine, and both of them were reaching for me and wanting mama, like saying mama. And I was literally just taken aback in the dream, taken aback. I'm just like, I grab my son, and for the rest of the dream I'm just keeping them separated enough that I know the difference between my child and random child that popped up, because I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here. So because I had so much confusion, and anybody knows that confusion is not of the Lord, in the dream I had so much confusion. In the dream I said, I'm going to pray. I was praying in the dream for clarity and understanding and insight in the dream. And in the middle of me praying in the dream, I start to wake up slowly. In real life, I'm waking up. You know, I'm sitting there, and right as I finish my prayer in the dream, I wake up in real life. While I'm laying there awake in real life, I hear the word twins. And at that point, I just laid there in fear again, because like I said, I don't want to have twins. That scares me. I didn't want to have twins. And so I just laid there, like kind of just like, I'm over exaggerating, but paralyzed in fear, just laying there like, okay. And that day, which was October 8th, we got a pregnancy test. I took the pregnancy test. I have on my family channel my reaction to the pregnancy test when I took it that day, like the live reaction. It obviously said pregnant, and I said I was so indifferent. Inside of the video, my reaction, I literally said I'm indifferent, because it was made so clear to me, like crystal clear, that God was sending another baby, that I was having another child, that it just was kind of shocking, because I have never really felt like, I felt like God has spoken to me through dreams before, but I had never really felt like there was such an influx of information, such an influx of communication from God regarding one topic. So it was insane to me. Processing that was insane. I say all that to say that God does talk to you. He does send you signs. He does use others. He does use dreams. He does use your own feelings in your heart to speak to you. You just have to pay attention, and it's up to you if you're going to be obedient or not. But that is my story time of how I found out I was pregnant for the 3rd time, how God told me I was going to be pregnant for the 3rd time, how it was really just a matter of me and my husband just surrendering to what God had in store for us, what the purpose was. And at the end of the day, you guys know how I feel. Every single baby is a blessing. It is such a privilege for me to be able to bring God's work, God's plans from the spiritual here to the physical. Every single child has a purpose on this planet. We don't know what the purpose is going to be. I don't know who my children are going to be. I don't know what they're going to do with their lives. But it's a privilege for me to be trusted, for me to be chosen to be Cardinal's mommy, Adonis's mommy, and now baby number 3's mommy. I don't know the gender yet. I'm due in like 2-ish months, which is nuts, but baby 3 is on the way. But anyways, just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm out of breath trying to talk because I was not going to share this, not this in depth at least. The timing was right. God put it on my spirit, and I hope, like I said, whoever needed to hear this, I hope that it did something for you. God wanted me to tell you. So thanks for watching, and I will catch y'all in tomorrow's video. Good night.